Okay, this is about week two statistics, and on week two, oops, we had to worry about two things. First, chapter 10 homework. Um, Earlier, we said for week two we were going to look at chapter 10 and chapter 11, but I'm going to lighten the load, and instead of chapter 10 and 11, for week two we are only looking at chapter 10. Chapter 11 will come next week. And the second thing you have to worry about is the project proposal. I'll tell you more about the project in a minute, but first, chapter 10 homework has hypothesis testing problems, and I have a couple of videos on chapter 10 homework problems, and I will send you an email with all the links for the videos on this chapter 10 problems. Right now, I want to tell you about the project. All right, for the project, there is a couple of steps to do the project, but at the end of week two, you need to tell me what data you're going to use. So at the end of week two, which is on Sunday, you need to tell me the data that you are going to use, right? So you need the project data, and right now, I need to explain what this is about. And one example of data that you need will be, for example, quality of the diamond. Well, this is about a diamond, right? This is one example about a diamond. So quality and price. You know, the price of the diamond depends on the quality of the diamond. The higher the quality, the more you pay for the diamond. This is called a simple regression model, or a simple example. We are going to need actually three sets of data. This is one will be dependent and the other one will be independent, right? Price is dependent and quality will be the independent. These two variables are called dependent and independent because price depends on quality. That's why price is a dependent variable, right? This is a simple example, but we actually need a slightly more complicated data. We need data that has one dependent and two independent variables. Let me give you one example. Let me open the right here. We have the death rate depends on the number of doctors per 100,000, right? So the dependent variable will be the death rate, and the independent variable will be the doctors. All right, this is a simple linear regression, but to make it suitable for a project, you need to add more data. And what I'm going to show you, I actually have data here. This is better. Now this will make it a multiple linear regression example. For the project, you need at least three variables, and you can actually delete this variable. You don't need four. We only need three variables, and one of them is dependent and the other two are independent. We know that death rate depends on two variables, right? Depends on the doctors per 100,000 and number of hospitals per 100,000 people. So this would be one example that you can actually use to do the project. So you need three variables. One is the dependent, and the other two will be the independent variable. Let me repeat that. The first will be dependent, and two will be independent. Another example, for example, this is about business. Sales depends on square footage, inventory, and for some reason this is also inventory. Let me delete that. So we need at least three, right? You need more than two. You need three variables. One is dependent. Sales will be dependent, and square footage and inventory will be independent. And you know that because sales depends on the square footage and on the inventory. Another example will be uh, the baseball example. Salary for players depends on how good they are in terms of batting average, number of runs, and number of doubles. So in this case, salary will be the dependent variable, and the independence will be the batting and the number of runs. You don't have to have four variables, but if you have four, that's okay. You need, for example, here you could delete this and have only three variables. You need a minimum of three variables. Again, one is dependent, and the other two will be independent. And what you actually need is something like this. You need three columns of numbers. The variables must be numerical, and they are correlated in the sense that salary uh, increases the better your batting average is, and if you score more runs, the salary will be increasing as well, right? So they are correlated variables, and they have to be numericals. And the question would be, where do you get the data? Well, let me show you. On on Canvas, if you go all the way almost to the bottom, there's a link called Web Resources, right? When you click here, Web Resources, you're going to be able to see all of these links. And I want to show you a couple of things, a couple of links that are actually very, very, very important. I think it will be this one, American Statistical Association. Give me a minute. All right. So this is the link for the American Statistical Association, right? And what I probably would do is search here data for linear regression. And on this website, multiple linear regression. Let me call this here the data archive. And here there's all kinds of files that you can actually use. One of them will be, for example, body. I saw that earlier. Or the baseball data. This one is actually very good. You see the baseball data. You have salary. This is actually what we were talking about. Salary, and then batting average, number of triplets, number of home runs, and all of that. And that's one just set of data. That's a baseball data. And there's another one, body right here. You also have, notice weight, for example, weight, and then the girth on the biceps, the girth on the forearms, the girth in chest. So all of that relates to weight. For example, weight could be the dependent variable, and the independence could be diameters, the girth, the this, and that. And all right, that's one example. Another example where you can actually get data on the web resources. The Major League Baseball. And here you can go stats. Stats. And you can go, for example, 2017, and this is there is no salary data here, but you can see averages and then a couple of other things. Sluggings, I don't know what that is. On base percentage, uh, number of hits, etc., etc. Right? So you have the data here also that you can use. Another one that I can show you is census data. You might have to go to a couple of different pages to actually find the data, but you need 3 columns of data, and you can select data per year, right? And there's, for example, this one here. Well, let me show you the data where you have data per year. See if I can find it. Right here. See, in 2005, this is the number with earnings or median earnings. That's one data. Well, you can do females on one side, and you can do males on the other side. This is for earnings, right? That's one variable. You might have to go back and collect more data because you need 3 variables, and this is the number of people below poverty. This is also one variable, right? But they all relate to number of years. So you can go back to the page earlier and get the data for earnings. You can get the data here for poverty. As long as you attach them to the year, you will be fine. And this one is related to, well, this also. Number of people in poverty and things like that. All right. So that's where you get the data. And of course, if you have any kind of problem finding the data, let me know, and I can give you a hand. All right. So that will be the second part of week 2. With respect to chapter 10, let me erase this part right here. So again, on week 2, you have to worry about 2 things. One will be chapter 10. Chapter 10. And I'll tell you the links to the videos later. And number 2, the project. The only thing I need from you is the data that you are going to use for the project. We will do the following steps later on, but I need to see what data you are going to use. And I'll show you more about chapter 10 problems in a video, actually in a set of videos. One other thing that I need to tell you is number 3 is the grade book. The grade book is really messed up because Connect, and I wasn't aware of this, Connect actually automatically links Connect assignments to the gradebook, and it's not supposed to be doing that. So on your gradebook, you are going to see Connect week 1, Connect week 2, and then homework, and that's incorrect. There's supposed to be only one homework for every week. So you might have basically 3 grades for homework, but that's not right. You should have only 1 grade for homework. I need to fix that later on. I don't have to fix it right now. I don't have time to fix it right now, and I will try to do that later on. So don't worry about it. And if you have a question, please let me know. All right, that's all I wanted to tell you about week 2, and I will send you an email with a more explicit explanation about these things. All right, this is it for this video. I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.